Anytime you can start a new week and a Monday and it's not 10 degrees outside is a good day. How warm is it going to get this week, and what about the chance for severe thunderstorms? Oh yeah, we're back in that weather pattern. Let's talk about it in this Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Oh hey, I hit the wrong button, but we're still going to try this again. Good morning. It is Monday, the 27th of January, 2025. I'm Texas Weather Center's Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer, and even if I'm hitting the wrong button this morning, even if I'm dressed as a Jazz Monday sort of kind of fella, we're still going to talk about the weather here in our super duper awesome Texas Weather Roundup, because that is what we do. Guess what? The weather doing too much today, thankfully, but that's not going to be the case as we get into later this week. Let's talk about it by starting off with the Texas wildfire outlook. Y'all didn't think I was going to keep things consistent now? Come on now. As we go through the next several days, the overall fire danger across the state, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service, is expected to be low to moderate. So that's the good news in that department. Hopefully no one tries to accidentally set the county on fire. Let's get into the high-res rapid refresh weather radar. First off, it would help if you could see my beautiful jazzy hat. Yes, sir, Bob. We are expecting an increase in cloud cover tonight into Tuesday across the state, with periodic episodes of light showers, maybe some fog, with increasing shower activity tomorrow across the eastern two-thirds of the state. Really, a good chunk of the state has the opportunity for some showers as we go into Tuesday night. You can see as right as we get towards sunrise Wednesday, a bit of an uptick in heavier shower activity. That's going to be as we see moisture increase ahead of our next upper level storm system, which will be primarily a Wednesday and Thursday event. So expect increasing clouds tomorrow, a lot of clouds on Tuesday, maybe some fog, and then as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday, scattered showers and maybe even a few thunderstormies. Speaking of thunderstormies, well, what do we have here? It's our good old severe weather outlook. We haven't had to talk about this in a couple weeks. Isn't that nice in the middle of winter, not having to talk about severe storms? But alas, we're going from winter weather back to convective weather. Oh, yay. The Storm Prediction Center highlighting the potential for isolated to perhaps scattered severe thunderstorms late Tuesday. How about we try this? Late Wednesday evening into Thursday morning across portions of the Edwards Plateau, Concho Valley, Hill Country, Big Country, Central Texas, North Texas. Now, this is not a big-time, super-duper scary severe weather threat. The potential for some damaging wind gusts up near 60 miles per hour in pocket change size hail out of the most intense storms. The overall tornado threat looks very, very low. This is primarily going to be a line of thunderstorms moving from west to east, with heavy rain, gusty winds, pocket change size hail. We'll keep an eye on it, but yes, some of these storms could produce quarter-size hail. For those of you who are not familiar with physical U.S. currency, that is about 1 inch in diameter. So go find a ruler, and there you go. Merry Christmas. And some wind gusts that could cause modest wind damage. As we continue into Thursday morning, past sunrise through the afternoon hours, the potential for some of those storms to continue producing localized damaging wind gusts and pocket change size hail across portions of central Texas, southern North Texas, south central Texas, into the Brazos Valley, places like Waco, Killeen, Austin, San Antonio, into Bryan College Station. We'll keep an eye on things, but again, this does not look like one of these super duper spooky severe weather threats at this time. We'll keep an eye on it though, since Mama Nature does like to try to make us look foolish, so if we can prevent that, it would certainly be great. As we take a look at the long-range American weather model, you can see going into Wednesday, you can see, yeah, scattered showers and storms. Here's 9 p.m. Wednesday. You can see this model's got heavy rain, thunderstorms galore across parts of Texoma, northeast Texas, central Texas, back southwest in the Concho Valley. Dry line sort of thingy-majiggy pushing east through the Concho Valley, bringing an opportunity for thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday morning across North Texas, Texoma, central Texas, into the Hill Country. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, a lot of heavy rain, maybe some localized flooding, gusty winds, and small hail. As we continue through the morning hours Thursday, you can see that line of storms progressing east across the Arklatex, the Brazos Valley, down into south central Texas, finally continuing on through the afternoon as we begin to lose some of our upper level lift, enforcing storms hopefully a bit more mediocre in the intensity department, pushing across East Texas, Southeast Texas, and the coastal plains, even off portions of the Rio Grande Valley. Behind that, dry line comes on in. You can see a rapid clearing of cloud cover and precipitation as we move through Friday. Notice the lack of any sort of winter storm in the panhandle. Snow chances have really gone down. If you were joining us last week, we talked briefly about maybe some snow up in the panhandle, West Texas. Well, that has become far less likely. And then the good news is, as we go through the weekend, take a look at this. Severe clear across a majority of the state of Texas with mostly southerly winds. It looks like after the system on Wednesday and Thursday, we're setting up for a period, perhaps an extended period, of less active weather. Some tranquil weather. Not having attack of Crashy the cold front. Not having attack of winter storm of doom. Severe weather threat of obnoxiousness. Yeah, we might actually get to enjoy several days of actual decent weather, which would be great, you know? I mean, think about it. Us weather weenies not having to talk about storms and winter and all that for a little while, that'd be great, wouldn't it? I agree. So, wholeheartedly approve of that plan. We just have to get past Wednesday and Thursday, and then we'll have some quiet weather to talk about for a while, which is good because as we get into February, we'll probably have active weather again because that tends to be an interesting month in the weather department for our part of the world. So as we take a look at forecast rain totals over the next several days, this will take us through 6 a.m. Saturday, the 1st of February. But this mostly encompasses tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can see we actually are looking at a good precipitation event across the majority of the state. The potential for at least 1/10 of an inch of rain across the eastern 75% of Texas. At least 1/4 inch of rain possible across the Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, the Edwards Plateau, down into parts of the coastal bend with, hey, you know what? At least 1 inch of rain possible east of a line from Childress, Abilene, San Angelo, San Antonio to Victoria, and parts of Texoma, North Texas, Central Texas, Northeast Texas, the Brazos Valley. Y'all may actually get 2 to 4 inches of rain over the next several days through Thursday before our system departs, and that may result in minor localized flooding, street flooding, rises on some creeks and streams, you know, all that typical fun stuff that just makes life a little more interesting. But at this time, thanks to mostly dry weather as of late, at least in terms of significant accumulations of rain, we are not expecting a significant uptick in river flooding issues, etc. But we'll have to keep an eye on it, and you know, the typical low-lying spots, coastal, good grief, construction zones, you know, all that. We'll probably have some ponding issues, so keep that in mind as we go through midweek. Otherwise, it's going to be quiet after Thursday through the weekend. Today's high temperatures across the great old state of Texas, warmest along the coast and in the borderland of far west Texas, west of the Davis-Guadalupe Mountains. We're looking at highs out in El Paso, 66, 70s possible in the far southern Big Bend. Once you get east of the Guadalupe-Davis Mountains, the Trans-Pecos, we're looking at temperatures only in the 40s and 50s, seeing a great example of how terrain can influence our weather west of those mountains. Warmer weather being held in tight. East of the mountains, you can see cold air filtering east of the Rockies and the Continental Divide, allowing for cool air pooling to occur. Otherwise, we're going to see 40s to low 50s western half of the state. Eastern half of Texas, highs mostly in the 50s with low 60s. Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, and behind my camera there in the Rio Grande Valley, 70s. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Tuesday, bit warmer across the state still, 50s. Western half of the state, 60s and 70s west of the Davis-Guadalupe Mountains. Actually, up in the Davis Mountains, it'll be in the 60s to low 70s. 65 El Paso, coolest in the Panhandle, West Texas, Permian Basin. Eastern half of Texas, we're looking at mostly upper 50s, 60s, and yes, still 70s down in the Rio Grande Valley. Ooh, look at Wednesday, the 70s return. Even some 80s down in South Texas. We're going to see 70s across South Texas, Southeast Texas, the coastal plains, the Golden Triangle, southern Louisiana. Week ago, y'all had a foot of snow on the ground. Guess what? This time, You're going to be in the 70s, 80s in deep South Texas. We're going to see 60s up to Interstate 20 in the Permian Basin, Big Country, Concho Valley, Northeast Texas, with cold air holding tough in the Panhandle, West Texas. Highs mostly in the 40s there, and then cooler in El Paso as some cooler air filters in over there with high of 55 on Wednesday. Thursday, still holding tough and cool in the Panhandle, West Texas, the Borderland, Guadalupe, Davis Mounds. You're much cooler on Thursday. East of those locations, though, the eastern two-thirds of Texas, we're looking at highs in the 60s, 70s, and yes, we do see those 80s down the Rio Grande Plains and Rio Grande Valley. And then going into Friday, guess what? Behind the storm system, behind, our system on, Wednesday and Thursday, you'd think it cool off. Nope, no crash of the cold front this time around. Temperatures remain warm, with temperatures mostly in the 60s and 70s across Texas, 80s South Texas, 50s up in the Panhandle and West Texas, which ironically is going to be warmer than most of this week. So it actually gets warmer behind our Wednesday, Thursday system, or Tuesday, Wednesday system, or you know what? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday system. There you go. See, it's the beanie. This is what happens when I wake up cold and decide to go beanie mode for Monday. But you know what? As we continue on through the first week of February, yeah, we're almost there. Guess what? Above average temperatures look likely to continue across the southeastern half of the United States, including the state of Texas, with maybe some drier weather in the far western parts of the state, and maybe a wee bit of above average chances for precipitation northeastern half of Texas. But again, it does look like as we go through this weekend and through at least probably the 3rd or 4th of February, next Monday, we'll end up being on the drier side of things. As we get towards Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, we may end up switching back into a more active weather pattern, some data suggesting another upper-level storm system digging on in. But you know what? That is out in Weather Model Voodoo Land, and we don't have to deal with Weather Model Voodoo Land in this Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup, because once we're past the system on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we get a now you see the words there would have been nice to have, a pretty nice stretch of less active weather. I promise you, this is caffeine. It really is caffeine. But as we go through today and tomorrow, we'll keep an eye on storm chances Wednesday night and Thursday. Again, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday are going to be pretty meh in the weather department across Texas, with clouds, increasing rain chances across most of the state. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're expecting heavier rain and thunderstorms. So as always, you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps for your device. And of course, if you're watching us here on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel, give us that big old thumbs up, give us some love, and tell the algorithm, hey, you know what? These are pretty awesome folks. You should show us to more people. See, isn't that a great marketing strategy? Instead of me just trying to casually tell you to hit the button, I actually tell you why we want you to hit the button. I know, honesty in the digital age, right? It's rare. But if you enjoy us, really, we do appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and get notified when we publish more content. Thank you to meteorologist Jason Cooley for putting out some great videos over the weekend. We're going to try to make that a regular thing. Had some of y'all give some feedback. You don't like that? Well, I'm sorry. I'm just Baldy in Chief. Sometimes even Baldy in Chief needs to take a few days off and, recharge. But again, that's going to be a regular thing. So if you don't like those, you can just watch the weekday videos and, well, do you. If you don't like these, you can watch the weekend videos. So that's it. I'm done talking. I hope y'all have a great Monday. I really do. Enjoy the nicer weather while you can, since we're going to be pretty dreary Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're going to have some really nice weather going into the weekend. Y'all have a great Monday. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. As always, God bless.